Falcons Nation, let's talk. Have you ever dreamed of the Falcons finally landing that dominant pass rusher who could transform the defense once and for all? Well, there's a name heating up in draft discussions, and he might just fall right into Atlanta's lap. But wait, along with his incredible talent, there's also some controversy surrounding him. Is he worth the risk? Should the Falcons go all in? Let's break it down. Before we dive deeper, make sure to leave a like. It really helps the channel bring you more breaking news and top-notch Falcons analysis. And I want to hear from you. If you were on the Falcons draft board, would you take this guy or pass? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now let's talk about one of the most polarizing draft prospects linked to Atlanta, Marshall's star edge rusher, Mike Green. This guy was an absolute wrecking ball last season. 17 sacks, leading all of college football. But his journey isn't just about football. There's controversy, and he faced it head-on at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Reporters grilled him about past off-field allegations that have followed him for years. Green didn't dodge the questions. He stood his ground, denied any wrongdoing multiple times, and claimed the stories about him were filled with misinformation. There's a lot of talk out there from people who don't know the real story, Green said. I've never done anything wrong. I've never been accused of anything. My focus is on being open with teams and proving I'm ready for the next level. So what's the backstory? Green has two past incidents that raised eyebrows. The first happened in high school where police investigated but closed the case with no charges. The second was after the 2022 season at the University of Virginia. Green was suspended due to an anonymous assault allegation, but he insists he was never even questioned about it. Instead of sticking around, he transferred to Marshall for a fresh start. I don't hold anything against Virginia, Green said. Now the big question. Should the Falcons take a chance on him? Stick around because we're diving even deeper into this debate. Mike Green felt that moving on was the best decision for his career, and honestly, it worked out perfectly. His time at Marshall couldn't have gone any better. He dominated the Sun Belt Conference, earned All-American honors, and was even named a team captain multiple times. On the field, Green was an offensive lineman's worst nightmare. He piled up 59 pressures and 32 run stops, making him one of the best defenders in all of college football. But here's the big question. Will his past allegations hurt his draft stock? Green doesn't think so. In fact, he sees his rise in mock drafts as proof that teams believe in him. Throughout this process, I've been climbing higher and higher, and that should tell you everything you need to know, Green said. I've been honest, I've followed the process, and I have no concerns. That's a bold statement from a guy whose name is now being mentioned in top 10 conversations. Some experts project him as a first-round lock. But for the Falcons, who currently hold the 15th pick, it's not just about talent, it's about risk versus reward. Do they take a chance on a potential elite pass rusher, someone who could finally give them the edge presence they desperately need? Or do they avoid the possible PR headache that could come with it? Green's perspective, I'm not a liability. Green doesn't see himself as a risk at all. He wants teams and the public to focus on what he brings to the field. He prides himself on being a mentor to younger players and leading by example. And for those who question his character, he has a simple response. Ask the people who actually know me, Green said. I'm the first one in, last one out. I help guys. I'm not about drama, I'm just committed to playing football. And speaking of football, Green isn't just a speed rusher, he's the total package. He's got power, technique, and a motor that never stops. Plus, he's been working on his coverage skills, showing he's willing to keep improving. So what should the Falcons do? Take the risk or play it safe? The debate is heating up. Stay tuned as we break it all down. Mike Green didn't get to showcase everything at Marshall, and he believes he still has a lot of untapped potential. Now, as he prepares for pre-draft workouts at Lucas Oil Stadium, all eyes will be on him. But it's not just about his 40-yard dash time or bench press reps. Teams will be watching how he handles the pressure throughout this entire process. NFL scouts and executives will dig deep, looking for any red flags. But if you ask Green, he's not worried at all. Some people might say I can't do certain things, Green said, but if you watch the film, all 700 plays, you'll see the flashes of what I can do. So Falcons fans, here's the big question. If Mike Green is available at pick number 15, should Atlanta take the risk? Is his talent worth the baggage? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now let's shift gears. If you've been following the NFL recently, you've seen the Philadelphia Eagles dominate with a short yardage play called the Tush push, or brotherly shove. This play is nearly unstoppable with a 93% success rate. Some teams, like the Green Bay Packers, are pushing to ban it. Well, guess what? Falcons head coach Raheem Morris is on board with that idea too. Speaking at the NFL Combine, Morris didn't hold back. It should have been illegal 3 years ago, he said with a laugh. And that's just the beginning of this debate. Stay tuned as we dive into Morris's full take on the tush push controversy. Raheem Morris isn't a fan of the tush push. I've never liked it, Morris said. There's no other play in football where you can push, pull, or do whatever to move a player forward. He went on to say he never understood why the play was legal in the first place, and now he's making it clear he'll be voting to outlaw it. But will his voice be enough? The Packers and other teams are also pushing to ban the play, but that doesn't mean it will happen. After all, some argue that teams just haven't figured out how to stop it yet. Others say banning it is just jealousy. Why? Because the Eagles have perfected the technique better than anyone. Even the Buffalo Bills, with their massive offensive line and Josh Allen at QB, only converted the play 78.4% of the time last season. The Eagles? A ridiculous 93% success rate. So what do you think? Should the tush push be banned, or do teams just need to get better at stopping it? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now let's shift gears to another major Falcons story. Free agency is right around the corner, and the Falcons have a huge decision to make. What should they do about starting center Drew Dalman? Dalman has been a key piece of Atlanta's offensive line for the past 4 seasons, and his value is skyrocketing. ESPN has him ranked as the top free agent center, and analysts believe he could land a contract worth over $13 million per year. Falcons GM Terry Fontenot on Dalman's future. We know he's a really good player, Fontenot said at the Combine. He's been a big part of our offensive line for a long time, but like with any free agent, we have to have those conversations internally. Dalman has played 57 games for Atlanta, starting his last 40 appearances. He's been a strong run blocker, ranking 5th among centers last season, and he only allowed 2 sacks in 554 snaps. But there's one problem: injuries. Dalman missed 8 games in 2024 with an ankle injury and 3 games in 2023 for the same issue. And what does Dalman himself think? He hasn't given any hints. When asked in January, he simply called his time in Atlanta an amazing experience and said he hoped it would continue.
So Falcons fans, what's the move? Should Atlanta break the bank to keep Dalman, or is it time to look for a more affordable option in the draft or free agency? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an update on your Atlanta Falcons. Go Falcons.